To what's going on, everybody, and welcome to the other side of the firewall, where we discuss the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who have made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and today, as always, I'm joined by Shannon Tynes.
What's up? What's up?
And LeVon Maynard.
What up?
So it's an action-packed week, not as action-packed as last week. Still has some of the fallout from the Colonial Pipeline. We'll get into that this week, as well as just regular cyber attacks, the boring kind that don't shut down half the country or cause them to put gasoline in garbage bags. Because hopefully you're spending some of that gasoline before it goes bad or blows you up. But we can go into security tip.
That's right.
For the day, gas vapor blows up. But I leave it to Shannon to go into this episode's story.
All right, so security tip. That's not a security tip. That's a common sense tip. But it's still,
that's right.
It's still good nonetheless, right? But this article actually is from thehackernews.com, and it's a Darkside ransomware gang extorted $90 million from several victims in 9 months. Yes, you heard that right. $90 million in 9 months. Now, it's a little bit misleading, right? Because Darkside only took a certain percentage of that 90 million, and the rest they left to the affiliates to keep on their own. And they had a scheme. The way they divvied it up was kind of weird too, right? If it was under 500,000, it was only so much, and then if it was over this much, they got this percentage. But anyway, this article is by Ravi Lakshmanan. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm probably not. I'm sorry, but still want to give you your credit, Ravi. But Darkside, which was the group behind the Colonial Pipeline ransomware attack, so they actually looked into them, right? So they these guys. Ryan, you actually mentioned it last week. They kind of they came out and were like, "Hey, we didn't expect for all this to happen. We just wanted to make a little bit of money. We didn't want to, cause all this hysteria to society." And it turns out they're actually shutting down. Right now, whether or not they're doing it out of the goodness of their heart or because it looks like they may have gotten robbed in the process, right? So their cryptocurrency wallet was actually emptied by someone that appears not to have been them. These guys are actually shutting it down, to be like, oh, we don't want to keep going around doing this. This was not our intention, and this, that, and the third. But I'm a little skeptical of this, right? So the fact that they were doing it, I mean, you do it to make money, and what you're doing, people are going to get hurt, right? If you're taking money from these companies, somebody's got to foot the bill for that, right? If this company is going to pay out so much money, they're not just going to do that and not have it pass on to, to their customers or whatever, right? It's going to come out some way, right? But it turns out in a 9-month time frame. So this was Darkside went operational last August 2020. And in that 9-month time frame, they made 90 million. Out of that 90 million, only 17.5 million actually went to Darkside, right? And then the rest of it actually went to the affiliates. But this is LeVon, what do you think about this, man?
Yeah, it's like you said, man. It's like I know we've been talking about this for a few different episodes, but ransomware has become like the hot topic of the year, at the very least. For I think especially around COVID time, it's become like even more prevalent than it was in the past. But now you got these organizations out here like Darkside that they call it like ransomware as a service. So you pretty much you develop the software to infect people, and you pay other people to use it on whatever helpless victim they come across. So it's like they're making a business out of it, and I think it's like become one of those things that as we've mentioned time and time again, that ransomware is become the new the new hotness that everybody's being affected with. All these big companies, you name it, has been affected by it at some point. And it's up to these companies kind of take their best foot forward to like try to prevent these from happening. they need to come up with a proper security plan, some sort of process that have outlined in case something happens to their infrastructure, happens to their data, gets compromised, gets stolen. They have to put things in place, have to put boundaries, and they have to have like they have, I think one of the biggest things is probably internal training with their workforce to make sure that they're aware of unscrupulous emails, things like that come down the pipe, and make sure that they're maybe prevented from accessing, like I said before, booty.com from their like workstations or from their the personal devices that are connected to their internal work environment, so that they're not transposing these viruses into the network. But I mean, as you mentioned, I mean, this is like it's pretty interesting that $90 million. I mean, this is like a lucrative business. I mean, you can imagine, like, I don't know, starters like starting like starter tech companies that would dream of making this kind of money, for however long they've been in business. But just for doing like this malicious activity that you're becoming like a millionaire. It's like it's this type of thing that also we need to put things in place that this kind of business can't be sustained. And I know we talked about a couple episodes ago that I think the latest White House administration is putting together some cybersecurity funds to make sure that we have the proper things in place to hopefully prevent things in the future, and have some processes and some templates and strategies, so that we kind of avoid these companies or these organizations. They call it like a prolific cybercrime cartel from being what they are now. But you have some thoughts on it as well, Ryan?
Oh yeah, definitely. So I find it fascinating. It's like just as one article had so many new terms that I was not tracking. So I didn't know that ransomware as a service was a platform now. So just like software as a service or a platform as a service, or it's pretty. I don't want to give them credit. However, it's really clever, as well as the subscription-based model where they build the tools. They recruit the affiliates, is what they call them, and the affiliates go out there, and apparently they targeted 99 different companies that FireEye and I guess investigators are now tracking, with an average of like $1 million or so from each company. The biggest fish being the Colonial Pipeline, all in Bitcoin. So all that cash that they haven't cashed out yet has dropped 34% in the past couple of days. So if they have not changed the fiat, they got to hold on to it until it regains some of its, or not. I mean, they didn't invest the money. So whether it's 90 million or 45 million, they still made out, right? I also don't believe that they were attacked. I think that this was a easy way to empty out that wallet and make themselves disappear, because it basically is too hot. So they had to get out of Dodge. But it's so crazy. Like the model that they built is very similar to like an Epic, where they build an engine like Unreal, and then they charge percentage as you use it. So like Epic is a little bit different though. Like Epic doesn't charge you until you hit a certain amount of copies out there, then they start to pull money from you. But they had a whole tiered system, like you're subscribing like Netflix or something.
Right.
10% here, 25% once you hit this, or I'm sorry, flip the other way, 25%. And then once you hit a certain threshold, only 10%. They ease up on you.
Right.
Once you get to the million ransomware. I don't know if they did any double dipping. I don't know if these tools were used to also steal data and then resell it in the future. So that part's missing. So I don't know if they're doing that as well. But again, fascinating. And it's a model that can be used elsewhere. So the only way to incentivize this is to not pay. If you don't pay, then it's not worth the amount of effort that they put into it. Because to reap the benefit of $90 million in 9 months is definitely worth building the tools, recruiting the people, all that stuff. Like it's definitely good money out there. I think they believe themselves to be more Robin Hood than a cartel. But either way,
If that's the case,
terrible.
who's the poor in this situation, right? It's like
Uh,
Robin Hood robbed from the rich, gave to the poor. Who's the poor?
well, not them, because somebody stole from them apparently.
So,
It's a vicious cycle. It's a vicious cycle.
it is a
Right.
vicious cycle.
Yeah, they become rich and then yeah.
So like you really so I read another article where they said that they think that the U.S. did go after them and might have been the ones that emptied the wallet, right? And you seem to doubt that. But do you not think that maybe we got to a point where we had enough and we were like, all right, because think about it, right? In Department of Defense, we have red teams, right? We have people
Yeah.
that go in and do things that, we use them for different purposes, but it might have got to a point where they were like, hey boys, have fun, make it happen, right? Like we're
Yeah.
sick after
Yeah.
it.
Oh, open season.
Yeah, yeah. So
Potentially, I mean, yeah, potentially, because I mean, look at the FBI going into random companies and removing those web shells
Yep.
earlier in the month. So potentially they did. So I'm not gonna say they didn't. It would seem like a good cover up. It's like at the end of all those heist movies where the criminals stole from their partners. And that's what it kind of feels like. But it could be the U.S. stepped in, stole the Bitcoin. Like, don't return the Bitcoin to me now, though. Wait till it inflates. Like, I still lost money in this deal. But I honestly don't know. And it's only going to happen again. Like, these people didn't just disappear. They'll create other corporations, I guess. LLCs, I don't know what they would call themselves, but they're going to create more of these because you create a blueprint, right? So they took the time to develop the business plan to make this work, and it was very successful. So why wouldn't you then go out and duplicate it? So again, the only way to de-incentivize this is to not pay. If you don't pay them, it's not worth their time. They'll go and work for you defending your network if you pay them right. Obviously, criminals will be criminals. So I'm sure there's like ransomware is just going to continue to ratchet up. It feels as though if I was still in school, I would be writing a paper on this. That's how complex it was. So it's definitely crazy out there. Like I don't know what the future holds, but again, hopefully as the outside opens back up, these people have something else to do. But if I'm getting paid millions of dollars, then this might be my full-time job going forward. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's a thing for sure. Yeah, it's like I don't know. It becomes such a lucrative business that people that have the know-how, they're going to start trying to take advantage of it. And I know this is not like the first time. I mean, it's not the first time that somebody's sold ransomware as a service, but I think this maybe is like kind of brought it to a lot of people's attention. As far as we got like a lot of details about the situation, a lot of details about the group that was behind it, and also we got all these figures that Shannon was telling us about that how much money they got and how much money they actually like dispersed between themselves and their partner that actually uses their service. So it's very interesting, but yeah, it's something that it's becoming more and more prevalent, and we're gonna have to do what we can to make it less lucrative. And like you were saying, Ryan, just to make it so that it becomes like we handle terrorists, that we don't pay them any kind of ransom. They have to go ahead and take my data. I don't care what you do with my data. I ain't giving you no money. You just go about your business. But hopefully we can do things that we just don't even need to worry about it. That our companies, our personal stuff is so secure that these ransomware companies don't have a chance to even infect our systems and cause this kind of chaos. But I guess time will tell what happens.
I mean, you hope it does de-incentivize them, right? But like Alfred told Bruce, right? Some people just want to see the world burn. So
right.
Yeah,
they
it's true.
just want to do it to do it.
They'll still be out there, but maybe they'll be a little bit smaller because they're getting big. They're getting like almost like corporations in size. So it's definitely it's wild out there. So get your shots, go back to work.
That's right.
Get out of here, like idle hands. But I think that pretty much wraps up this episode. It's definitely interesting. Like it's crazy how how long has it been since outside closed? Like 18 months? we've been in the
Yeah.
pandemic.
I think like March
And,
last year. Right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so. I know for us, it was like March time frame. So we're looking at like 14-ish months. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I'm trying to think of at my job, yeah, I think it was March time frame. They were like, yeah, we don't want you coming in here no more.
Yeah, sounds about
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
So I'm sure if you put a chart up, like somebody made a chart, you would actually see like the actual correlation between the two, how quickly they got good at what they're doing. So hopefully they go do something else in the very near future, as well as the laws change where you can't pay. And then you have to secure your network. But we'll get into that because there's a lot of stress being put on cybersecurity teams and their bosses. But that'll be later on in the week. So stay tuned. We're here Monday through Friday, Monday through Friday. Monday, we just discussed this topic. Tuesday, we'll get into a little bit of Android ness. LeVon will take care of that. Wednesday, we'll have a discussion about the stressors of being a CISO in this current environment, because it's pretty crazy out there. The article that we're going to discuss is pretty crazy as well. I mean, there's drugs and all types of craziness. Later on this week, we'll do Ask SSP. I dropped out last week. I just need to take a break. But that allowed me to accumulate some questions, so that's a good thing. And then Friday, of course, we'll do the weekly rundown. And I actually did watch some of the stuff that LeVon has been beating me over the head with. So we'll discuss that as well. But definitely stay tuned throughout the week. Hit us up on YouTube, like, share, subscribe, hit the bell. If you're listening to us on any of the podcast platforms, Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, Breaker, etc., share with your friends. So I now see that there's two different communities. Like some of them will be like, hey, I didn't know you had videos. And then others will be like, hey, I watched your video. I didn't know you had a podcast. Yes, listen to all of the above. Share with your friends. Hit us up at the website, www.theothersideofthefirewall.com, where you can get to our Twitter and our IG, and as well as our Facebook group. You can hit me up personally at RyRy Security Guy. That's RYRY Security Guy on LinkedIn, TikTok, IG, Twitter, and I'm probably forgetting something, but I'm everywhere at RyRy Security Guy. And LeVon?
And you can hit me up on the Twitters at LeVon Maynard.
There it is. Keep listening. Talk to y'all later.
Take care.